Hello, today we are going to talk a little bit about the importance of selling your books in person. First, I wanted to share with you that it is official. As of July 19th, Red Rain is available for purchase in ebook and print book on multiple platforms. Red Rain is a novella which comes after the Red Crimes novel, which is something that I worked on for multiple years and put it together as a novel format back in 2023. Rain is a character that stuck with me for a very long time, and I finally finished her story. So please consider checking it out. I have left a link below so that you can see where all it is available online. Selling books online. When you put your book out there, there is no guarantee that anybody will see it, let alone purchase it.
No way!
There is such an overwhelming amount of books published online now. It is easier for a lot of people to get their books out there now. It isn't about going to a trad company and hoping that maybe one day you'll be accepted to publish under their house. But even as an independent author, it is even more challenging to get views, to find readers, and for readers to be able to trust that you are human. And that is why it is important for you to sell your books in person. I know, I'm an introvert. I do not like crowds. I do not like massive social situations. Of course, it's different when you're with like family and close friends, but in public, like a lot of people that you don't know, lots of noise, lots of questions, new faces, new environments. It can be all overwhelming, overstimulating, mentally exhausting, possibly even physically exhausting, depending on what you're putting into making these sales happen. But building that in-person connection with a reader goes far beyond the click of a button for an online sale. Once that reader comes up and meets you and talks to you about your book and asks you questions, it builds something called trust. That reader buys your book, they enjoy your book, whether or not it's their favorite book. It's exciting to them because they met you. They met the author of this book that they are holding in their hand. There is a signature in the front of this book. They share it with their friends. They share it with their family. They might post it on social media and say, hey, look, I met this author and they signed my book. So cool. It really is exciting. Like even me, if I could meet Samantha Shannon or Brandon Sanderson, like, it would be amazing to meet them face to face and say, you know, I admire you. I love your books. I love your writing style. So it's the same for all of these other readers. Sure, we might not all be big named authors, but still we're an author that published a book. Admit it, when you were first starting out in your writing journey and you hadn't published anything yet, it seemed daunting, overwhelming, exciting. It seemed like this huge feat just to be able to publish one single book. But now that we're here, we get to look back and say, hey, I understand this process now. I have an idea of what I'm doing. I've made it this far. And now I get to meet readers in person and say, hey, I published this. Word of mouth, sure, it seems old-fashioned to some, but it still works. It really does work. I have been to multiple small cities, bigger cities around Manitoba this year, and I have met a lot of new great people, gained some new readers, and hopefully some of these readers will be kind enough to leave a review on Goodreads or on whatever platform they choose to do so. And by doing this, between my online sales and my in-person sales, I now have a rating on Goodreads. And it's not just 2 stars or 3 stars. I now have a 4-star rating on Goodreads as an author, and that is thanks to all the readers I've met. Some of these reviews are from online purchases, but I really believe that some of them are also from the in-person sales because, let's face it, I get more in-person sales on a monthly basis than I do online. So one thing that I haven't been doing at these in-person sales is building an email list. I do have it in the backs of my books saying to join my email list by going to this website. However, you could also set out like a clipboard. My dog's groaning in the background. You could set out a clipboard with like a spreadsheet set up on it and say that if you're interested in joining my email list, please consider writing your name down here. However, you could also wait for them to actually read your book and only join that email subscriber list if they liked the book. That way you know that everybody on your email list is actually really enjoying your books. I'm sorry about the hair today. I just did not put any time or effort into it. Now, other good things about marketing your books in person, going to vendor markets, going to bookstores to do a signing, going to a library, all of this is you also open up the potential to network with other writers and other publishers or people who might be looking at hiring you for a specific service if that's something you're interested in. So say there's a newer writer, they love writing, but they haven't published anything, they have no idea how to get from point A to point B. And if you are offering services like editing or coaching or something along those lines, then this is a really great way to meet them. One thing that I do at almost every market that I go to that contains at least one or two other authors is I usually end up buying another independent author's book and reading it and rating them. And sometimes when I purchase another independent author's book, they might stop by my table, see what I have, and they might purchase a book. And in turn, they will most likely leave a review as well. Without the reviews, we don't get the visibility that we need. Selling your books in person, meeting other readers and stuff also gives you good practice with dealing with the public, with making conversation about your book so that if one day you decide to pitch it somewhere, hey, you've had the practice, you've talked about your books more. I've gotten down to like this spiel, so to speak, that I can be like, hey, this is a crime thriller mystery located in Selkirk in Manitoba, and hey, this is a Selkirk romantasy, and hey, this is a romance mystery, and I kind of have an idea of what kind of book somebody is looking for. So one thing that I usually say when I first see somebody, other than saying, hey, how are you today? You know, blah, 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 talk about the weather, socialize a little bit. Then I ask them, do you like to read? And what do you like to read? Okay, well, this book is something you might be interested in. You know, have that conversation, ask them some questions, make it look like you're interested in them and you're not just there for the sale. As you go through the markets and as you try to sell more of your books in person, it also helps you gain confidence in your work. When you make those first sales of the day and you write it down in your book, you count your money, it really makes you feel good about yourself. So it builds your confidence in your author journey. It also gets you out of the house and in a different environment, which is very good for your mental health. If you are like me and you're home a lot and you are writing in this quiet, dark office by yourself, you need to see the world. So if you go out of town, say the market's an hour away, 2 hours away, even 30 minutes away, it is still getting you out of the house. It gives you more perspective on what is happening in the world, and then it might even perk your creativity. It might also spark new conversation to give you more ideas for future books. So as much as having an online presence is absolutely important, in my opinion, when it comes to the business of being an author, it is also very important for you to go out and meet people and sell your books in person and talk about your writing with other people. Have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever, and keep smiling.